Do Crohn's disease symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help. At 12 weeks, rapid symptom remission was achieved in most patients taking Tremfya, and some experienced visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible and ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
For fans wanting more than just the score, Warhawk Report dives deeper into ULM athletics with expert analysis, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and real-time updates. Whether you are a diehard fan or just curious about the Warhawks, we've got you covered. Subscribe today at warhawkreport.com. Smart coverage, real insights, all Warhawks. warhawkreport.com.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The ULM mention is the greatest. You'd hope for the best as a ULM fan, but
this is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast with hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian.
Chase, you always have such great insight.
Tibbs is going to bleep it all.
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really, really appreciative of the people and the community and the way that they've backed us up.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase back for another episode. Not really a whole lot going on campus. I did see where new president, Dr. Camille Castile, already on the job. They welcomed her onto the Bayou. She is officially in the capacity, learning the ropes of the university before her official start date of July 1st.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
That's all you
Great
got?
choice. No, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I think she said the right things, but we got to see what happens with, what the actions are within the first year. I think will say a lot for what she's doing. So, but yeah, she's got a great pedigree. I think she was a great choice for president.
And she went to your alma mater. What more could you want?
Please stop.
We always like getting the band back together, though, right? In some cases, in some cases, when maybe they have temporary tags on them, we don't necessarily want to get that band back together.
Of course.
But when a guy was a receiver that you were pseudo blocking for, he was a top 5 all-time great receiver, and we've had some damn good receivers on
Absolutely.
the Bayou. 193 receptions, over 2,400 yards. Then he got to play in the NFL for the Titans, CFL for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He was part of the 2012 historic team that played in the Independence Bowl, and a 2-time all-conference performer. The man speaks for himself. Rashon Ceaser, welcome to the show.
What's going on, man? That was the best intro I've ever got. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. What's going on? How y'all doing?
It's all downhill from there. That's all we got. Our great
Absolutely.
intros.
Yeah, now we're just never BSing. Yeah, Tibbs. When I tell you, you're right. We didn't. My freshman year, we ran an air raid. Caesar was that was his sophomore, junior year. He was a year or two older than me, but man, it was honestly, I say this, when I think about my college career, it was a pleasure to share the field with Caesar. He was a special player, a special athlete. He came to work every day, worked hard, and now big guys and I'll call him a little guy. Sorry, Caesar, but big guys, little guys, we don't interact that much. But seriously, Caesar, it was a pleasure to get to work with you for those few years, brother.
Oh man, definitely a pleasure having you blocking and helping the quarterback out, helping to get that ball to me, man. So I can try to make it happen, man. So you're definitely appreciated, Chase. Definitely, your talents did not go unnoticed, dog.
I appreciate it.
Don't inflate.
Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, absolutely.
Not in my eyes. Hey, I got to see you every day blocking this.
That's true. That's true.
You were a dog in the trenches, man. I honestly say you were a dog in the trenches.
I was going to say, Tibbs, it's about time we got a good football player on this podcast because we haven't had too many of them yet.
It's all love, man. I'm happy to be a part, man. Happy to be a part.
Thanks.
So, Rashon, you got to play with a couple of probably the best quarterbacks in the history of the program there, obviously with Colton Browning there in the early years. And then you got to catch the all-time season leader there in Pete Thomas.
Dog.
What was that relationship like, kind of going from a lefty to a righty, and then B, how were they a little bit different as you even kind of progressed yourself and became a better receiver as you matured?
Man, so, I mean, being a receiver, you always want to develop a great relationship with your quarterback. First and foremost, you always want to have their trust. You also want them to trust you. The biggest difference was, Colton was left-handed, so the spin on his ball was more like a curve ball. So I had to get used to catching the ball that way versus Pete was just a straight on nice spiral. So that was a big difference there. But the main thing was in the off season, we just hit the ground running. Like once we met, we were meeting every day, running routes every day, trying to get that timing and stuff down. And it definitely helped us out a lot during the season. And we were able to come away with some big plays.
Yeah. Plus, Pete, bless his soul, I think he's coaching too now. We'll get to that here in a second for your coaching experience now. But he also couldn't run to save his life. Tibbs, bless his heart. Nice guy, but he was big. He was taller. This is true, Caesar. I know you know this. He was taller than every offensive lineman he had, and he was probably slower than three of us. But dude could sling a ball. I never had the pleasure of really blocking for Colton Browning, but I played right tackle, so I wouldn't have wanted a left-handed quarterback. But I completely agree, dude. When Pete came in, he was seasoned, he was old, and he just got to work, dude. It was fun.
He was basically the ULM version of Tom Brady.
I still absolutely with the Bucks, I still absolutely love what sent him over the top. They take him to Fieldhouse on his official visit, and they're sitting there eating with Barry and Coach Farmer, just kind of discussing it. They look over, and there was that kind of zoo-ish thing out in Delhi or whatever. Somebody's there with a baby kangaroo.
Oh man!
and he's like just infatuated. Like, is this a normal thing? And they're like, sure it is. That's why you should come here.
We have fun here. Yeah.
Hey, that's probably why he came. That did it. That was a cake on the icing right there.
Oh, jeez. But Rashon, you look back at your career. What was maybe some of the highlights that you had that you really think about? And you're like, God, I can't believe we did that, or just that one moment that really stands out in your career on the Bayou.
Man, that one moment that I could say that stood out was that 2012 game where we beat the Arkansas Razorbacks in overtime. They were number 8 in the nation, and it went down to the wire. It was a crazy back and forth game. Of course, when ULM plays one of those Power 5 schools, everybody's like, "Are they about to get beat 50-0?" But nah, man, we just had a chip on our shoulder. That was around the time where we really start to see change at ULM. Like with Brent Litter and all those guys going into their senior year, it was like we worked so hard that offseason that we knew no matter who we stepped on a football field with, we were capable of beating them. That's when Barry came up with that "put a ball down" slogan. Because you put a ball down, we could have been playing against it. We could have been playing against number 1 team in the nation. We were going to go out there like we could beat them. and we worked hard and we played well together, man. So I would have to say that that game was very interesting. At the time, I was a redshirt freshman, still kind of coming in as a sub, wasn't really getting the ball as much. But when I got in, my job was to look, I'm going to block. They wasn't really throwing me the ball then. But one thing I was going to do, I was going to get in front of somebody and make sure my man didn't make the tackle. And we all had like certain goals. We had a bunch of great role players, and we all knew our roles very well, and we worked hard at them. And I think that was one reason we came away with that game. Nobody on that team was selfish. Everybody just worked together because we all wanted to reach that one goal of having a winning season at ULM.
So if I'm not mistaken, was it your junior or senior year where you ended up getting hurt? And
that was my senior year. Yeah, senior year.
But I just remember, we had a Jalen Holly too, and he was such a dog, and we had such a deep receiving room. It felt like we just had some players behind there, and really honestly, I mean, I talk highly about you because really it was an enjoyable way, and I just wanted to say though that y'all didn't block for shit. Bless your hearts, you did. Great route runners, y'all didn't block for shit.
Golly, not at all, Chase. We can block a little bit,
dude. You can't tell me past your junior year you were looking to block. No, hell no. That's one of the young guys' jobs.
My junior year, I was getting the ball down there every play. So, I mean, I kind of contest to that too because they were having a block for me on those bubble screens and stuff. I think one game, poor Jalen, it was the cornerback came downhill hard, and all he could do was try to cut him low. He cut him low, and the dude flew over him and ran into my legs, damn near blew my knee out.
Oh, no, it's brutal, dude. Yeah, I remember Jalen trying, but a good special player himself. He just
that's my guy, man. He worked real hard on him.
Rashon, you talk about that Arkansas game that kicked off the 2012 game. My big memory from that season at Western Kentucky, and I think you were the one that caught the OT touchdown to seal that victory.
That's where I was going next. If it wasn't going to be the Arkansas, it was definitely going to be that Western Kentucky game because that's where I really started to show up as a big-time player, and they started including me in the offense. After that was actually that game, I got my first catches that game. In that heat of the moment, towards the end of the game, I remember Kobe Harper, who was the receiver that was playing in front of me, went down. He broke his ankle or something like that. And I had always been telling Coach Nichols, man, look, once I get my shot, I'm going to make the best of it. So when that happened, Coach Nichols looked at me, said, all right, let's go. We talked about it. Now let's see you get out here and do it. So it was no way I was going to be denied because I was never going to hear the end of it if I would have let Coach Nichols down in that game.
Crazy. Brent Leonard, Kobe Harper, hadn't heard those names in forever. I was getting recruited when you guys were playing, but I was watching every single game, and those guys were just some dogs, dude.
Yeah, they were some dogs.
Just some dogs. Isn't it crazy? I talk about this a lot. Like, we really had some great talent on those teams.
We did.
I think about Cam Blakes. I think about
Jairus
Edwards. Ham. You think about Pipkins. I mean, we had
some ballers, bro. We really had some ballers.
Crazy.
But that was really that game was really the starting highlight of my career, and it just elevated from there. But it was all
like I said. I remember you making the catch, and then I remember the defensive back picking up the pylon and throwing it at me in the back of the end zone, and I didn't care because we had just won. So what difference does it make? But Rashon, once you left the Bayou, you were able to get a UDFA to go to Nashville, play for the Titans for a little bit. How did ULM kind of prepare you to make that transition and kind of shine in the NFL ranks?
Man, it was really the competition. The speed of the game, Coach Berry always had us practicing fast, so I was already adjusted to the speed. And just the overall environment, just know how to come in somewhere where you're not really familiar and just try your best to fit in, kind of like my situation at ULM. Luckily, my career was cut short. I think I ended up getting cut right before the preseason because, as an undrafted free agent, nothing's promised. So it was they had a bunch of dudes out there blowing their knees out in rookie minicamp and stuff on defense. So they had to level out the numbers. So, of course, they had to release 8 offensive players to bring in more defensive players. And I was unfortunately one of the guys to be part of that number 8. So, man, it came to an end before it can get started. But I'm just appreciative of every opportunity because now that I'm coaching and stuff now, I could teach the younger guys what it takes to get there and how to succeed once you get there. Because there's a lot of stuff I still didn't know when I got there that probably could have helped me out. And me getting injured that third game of the season against Alabama, breaking my leg, kind of really set me back because I had a draft stock of like 3rd or 4th round before that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunate. And I feel like a dick bringing it up, but I was also going to say that's also the game that I got hurt in. But it was much bigger impact that Ceaser got hurt rather than me getting hurt. So you go to the Titans, and it stinks. I know you're kind of still probably recovering. I think we had similar injuries in the past, but then you go to CFL. What was that like, dude? I've always wondered. Kind of like you have the pleasure of seeing both worlds, right? So
it was amazing, bro. First of all, I've never been out the country, so I didn't even have a passport. They literally got me a passport in like 3 to 4 days. And, it takes months to get your passport.
Right, yeah.
But what's so crazy? That passport is still up to I still can use that passport to this day. It don't expire to 2027. So the CFL, I might not did much out there, but they set me up for life when it comes to traveling the world. But man, look, let me tell y'all one thing. I didn't realize how cold it is in Canada in the summertime. Dude, I left I flew out of Houston. I left Houston in a t-shirt and shorts. Dude, when I got outside that airport in Canada, that wind hit my knees and thought my legs almost cracked. I immediately had to go to the bathroom and put on some sweatpants and stuff. It was so cold. It was 46 degrees in June.
I remember talking with the old legend, Stephen Giles, who made a great career for himself up in the CFL. And he talked about that first time you get hit, it's probably in the 60s outside. And you're like, man, that kind of stings, but it's not too bad. He goes, and then you get about that third one. You're like, dude, it's so damn cold out here. It hurts even worse that you're telling guys, I'll pay for dinner tonight. Just don't hit me.
In the summertime, man, you got to think about it. I'm playing receiver, so I'm having to plant in these hard cleats with no cushion in them. I feel like my toes breaking every time I plant. Like it was brutal, dog. But I love the game so much, I didn't let it get to me. Unfortunately, I ended up pulling my hamstring during the count and got cut from there. Man, it's just that injury. But the injury bug got me. Who knows where I'd be today if I, didn't sustain those injuries. And I was never a guy that really got injured, like talking about it.
No,
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it sucks. But hey, now I see you're coaching. What made you kind of get into that? You went home to that's your high school, right? It's high school you went to. Now I'll see there.
Yeah. So what happened was, me and my wife, we were living out in Houston. Ended up getting pregnant with our first child, which is my daughter.
Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. She's 6 months old. So it was like at the time, it's like my wife's from here. I'm from here. We have no support in Houston, so we didn't want to put a 3-month-old baby in daycare. Like, cause we both work. My wife is a physician assistant, and I worked at Enterprise, so we both get home at 8:00. So we just sat down one day, and then she just brought it to my attention. She was like, "With this baby coming, I feel it's best we move back home because that's where all our support is. We don't have to stay there entirely long, but just till we can the baby can get up and running and moving around and start being able to do things on her own." And I wasn't really happy with the job working at Enterprise that I had because you just basically get cussed out every day and everybody trying to rent a car, but you don't have no car. So you got to be the bad guy and be the face of telling people look, I know you had a reservation. You booked this reservation 2 weeks ago and you're expected to leave town, but I don't have a car for you to go anywhere. Yeah. So you can imagine how those conversations went. So I just found myself, man, just sitting at home one day and I was praying. I just was praying to God and I was like, man, if you send me my call, and I swear I'm going to give it my all and I'm going to make the best of every opportunity. And then I say about 2 to 3 weeks later, I end up my high school football coach, Darius Matthews. He was my offensive coordinator when I was in high school. He's now the head coach there. He called me. We were talking about a player. It was Stanley Gilmore, which I actually got on at ULM, but he was the preferred walk-on and didn't have his financial stuff set up. So he ended up having to go to a JUCO. But I was working on getting him at ULM because he's a hell of a good safety. Working on getting him at ULM, and I was talking to my head coach, and then he was like, and then we were talking. I was like, hey, on another subject, me and my wife talked about moving back home, and it was either I could have easily went back home and worked at Enterprise, but I wasn't really happy with the job, so I wanted to find something that I knew I would love doing, and football and sports has always been, my number one. So I was telling him that, and he was like, man, if you move back here, I got a job for you off the spot. We can get you into teaching. You could teach PE, the easiest subject to teach of all time, and you can come back here and coach. And it was like, once he said that, it rung in my head like, dang, this probably what God has in store for me. So I need to try to capitalize on this opportunity. One thing led to another. I ended up moving back last summer in August, and we just hit the ground running, man. And it was like I was able to impact and change their program around so much with the kids just believing in themselves and being disciplined that, man, it's been uphill from here. We're looking to win a state championship this year. I got the guys to do it.
Come on. I was gonna say you're probably pretty used to getting cussed out every day. We did both play for Steve Farmer, and bless his heart, that dude was. I know you heard some rough stuff, so did I. Maybe stuff we don't say on a podcast, but
And then and I had Coach Nichols too, and Coach Nichols would go down your neck.
Yeah.
Hey,
what can offense? What?
Hey, Chase, you think it was fun coming to the sideline after missing those blocks?
No, for both of us, bro.
Some guys didn't play. And what's so crazy?
You know what?
I had the pleasure of seeing Coach Farmer. That was yesterday. Matter of fact, I took I took my guys to ULM to camp up there, and then they had camp at Lafayette yesterday, which was Sunday, and I got a chance to see Coach Farmer. I don't know if you really know Coach Leger. He's the offensive coordinator there.
I did know Leger because he came in as I left the program.
Yeah, so I was able to see him
from Lafayette at all.
Man, I talked to those,
all there, I think.
Yeah, I talked to those guys for about an hour, like during the camp. Like, man, it was a pleasure seeing those guys. But man, it was. Hey, Tracy, it was an interesting time in Monroe with those coaches. It was real military style based. I'll say that.
Yeah, they came down from West Point, really taking a lot of that tradition with them, and that wasn't always very fun, dude. That was tough. Hey, I had the pleasure of Coach Farmer being upstairs, and so if I ever had to go to the phone, I knew I was just prepared because I had the 3 seconds to walk over there before I got cussed out for the next 30 seconds.
Man, I already know, man. It feels like yesterday, though, man. I enjoyed my time in Monroe.
Absolutely.
If I could do it all over again, I'll come to that same school and do it all over again.
100%. 100%.
So, Rashon, now that you're on the giving end of that phone call, so to say, what are some things there that you did learn from ULM, from Coach Berry, Coach Farmer, Coach Nichols, and everyone else that really kind of molded you into the coach that you are now?
I learned how to actually build a relationship with my players, get to know them, also hold them accountable because we were held accountable for everything. Like, that's why I feel like most of us are so successful today because they didn't let us slide with anything in Monroe at all. And it was like coming from a football program like that, going into the real world, you're already molded to succeed in life, man. So, I definitely learned a lot, but it was mostly just building that relationship, holding our players accountable, and just building that trust.
Love that, dude. Yeah, 100%. I remember Coach Berry had a famous saying, Tibbs, and it was, "You can always take one more step," or he'd say a variation of that, right? And I hold it close to my heart today of no matter how hard it gets. And the tough part is he'd scream that after those 5 a.m. hell weeks, and so you don't believe it then. And then 10 years later, you kind of get it.
Hey, but them 5 a.m. hell weeks, man, it made you find another step.
That's right.
It was times I feel like, man, I couldn't take another step, but then I learned from them that it's all mental. It's all mental. As long as you have the positive mindset, man, it's unlimited things your body can do if you just got the right mindset.
Dude, I love that you're taking, not only your talent, but your ethic and stuff and putting it into today's youth. I think it's so great. I do want to know what kind of offense you run down there. What do you classify your offense as?
Man, it's more like the spread, but it's really balanced with run because I got some good running backs also, but it's like that spread balance. We go trips. We also do like a pro style set with the wing back. So it's a little bit of mixture of like a lot of different things. It's kind of hard to game plan for. That's why I do it because it's like we're not just one dimensional. You can't just lie to them and be like, this is what they gonna do. Nah, you gotta be you gonna be on your toes when when I'm calling plays against you. I'm gonna always keep you guessing. It's almost like playing a video game, bro. And I'm a dog.
It sounds like you're playing too much Madden, Cease.
hey, look, I can call some plays. I can get people in a position to make plays, and I know how to trick a defense. Look, when we start the season, I'm about to see y'all some of my clips from the games. You're gonna be like, man, that's like some NFL college stuff right there.
I keep up with you on Instagram, Facebook, brother. I'll watch it. And you got any studs going? You think can play at the next level? You think they'll be able to take that step?
Man, I got a couple. I mean, but what's so crazy? Our team is so young. Like last year we had 5 seniors. This year we only got like 6. Like most of my team that played last year was like freshmen and sophomores. But man, Dave took on the coaching and the responsibility of not waiting your turn and going to take that opportunity head on. It's amazing how those guys are working. I have a he's number 8 player in the state of Louisiana. Like of all classifications as an athlete. The guy, when I say the guy can go, he kind of reminds me of myself when I was in high school. A little bit on the. Hey, I'm gonna tell you one thing. He's probably a little faster than me though. You know, I wasn't the fastest guy. I can get open. But...
Hey, see, that's what they say. You're a great route runner, man. You're a great route runner.
They always say that for. Yeah, they always say that for receivers that can't run fast. You're a great route runner.
Blocks great at the second level. Great route runner.
Nah, man, I got a quarterback his name's Marcus Cannon. He has a Cannon also, so that's amazing. His last name's Cannon. He's he's been starting as a freshman. He's about to be a junior too. And look, let me trip you out though, Chase. I have a right tackle who's coming. He's coming to the 9th grade. He's about to be in 9th grade. He's coming from middle school. He's 6'3", 305. And when I say Pancake City, extra syrup, he gets it done, guy. He gets it done. He's gonna play as a freshman and be dominant.
Love that, dude. Playing at tackle as a freshman is terrifying. See, you sure you're gonna do that to somebody?
Hey, look, you know, last year I was a wide receiver coach and I was the head coach for our middle school.
Yeah.
So when we get to the games, you know how you meet the coach before the game?
Mm-hmm.
I walk up to the middle of the field to meet the coach. He said, "Well, shit, coach, did you bring your high school football team?" I got some big boys, though.
That's a kid you send out to be captain every single game.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. And people are terrified. They're like, "No way, I got to play against this guy," and he don't hold back, Chase.
That's awesome, dude.
He don't hold back. But man, I got a lot of players though.
That's the busters, the guys that you always make sure they're the first ones off the bus that they see, so that even if you know your average guy is 5'4", they see those big son of bitches coming off the bus first, and they're like, "Oh shit, what did we sign up for?"
Yeah, for real. Like when we get off the bus, all teams stop warming up and just be looking. The coach have to redirect their attention. Like, "Hey, let's focus." They looking at us like, "Man, I can't believe you about to play these guys." And then look, I'm gonna trip you out even more. I have a goal line package where I go heavy, and he's at fullback. He has like 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns on the season.
Hey, that is a dream, bro.
I know.
That is a
dream. But man, hey, he earned it though. Like the way he works and stuff, and his attitude. And he's a straight A student, so I was like, I got to find a way to reward this guy, or a 5A school is going to steal him from me.
See, you remember your junior year, my sophomore year, okay? All week, I don't remember what week it is. I think it's like Georgia Southern. Coach Farmer's telling me, no, it wasn't Georgia Southern. It had to be before that because Georgia Southern, we ended that year. Remember, I got kicked out of that game. It had to be Troy or one of those. But all week, Farmer's put me at like not technically tight end, but he's overloading the left side, so I was a tight end.
Oh yeah.
He's telling me run this 3-yard now, and he all week he's like, dude, we're gonna get you a touchdown this week. It's gonna be awesome. You have great hands, which is not true. I do not have great hands. He's like, just go work the jugs, like catch these passes into wet balls. Like you're gonna do this.
Hey, and, I remember that.
So we score a touchdown on that play, and I'm like, Coach, I was wide open. He was like, no shit, Chase, you're the decoy. It took you 7 days to figure that out, dude.
Coach Farmer funny, bro. That's a funny guy.
That was awful, dude. I'm still pissed about that. I'm like, Coach, I'm there. Like, next time we run it, he's like, we'll never run that play again. You can forget we ever even had it in the package.
He's so brutally honest. It's hilarious. He's so brutally honest. He don't care, bro. He's gonna be honest, and it's gonna be funny.
I think it was Big Cross. You remember him? He came, Coach Cross. He was like, "Yeah, dude, no way. They're never gonna do that again." I hate that. Good. I'm glad you're getting a big guy touchdowns. They're my favorite.
Yeah, man.
So Rashon, now that you're slinging your kids all across the state, you definitely had a chance to go back to the Bayou, meet Coach Vincent. What do you see out of Coach Vincent? What do you see changing around Malone Stadium and on the Bayou?
Man, I can say Coach Vince is very serious about what he's doing there, man. He's doing a great job. Like, I was literally impressed with all the stuff that they're doing, bro. And it's like they're finally getting that support that, that ULM been deserved, And he's going out working hard, getting people to give back and support. So, man, hats off to him, man. I'm excited about the season this year, and I'll definitely be going back to spend more time with him. Hey, so he told me, he said, man, come back whenever you want. So I'm going to definitely wear my welcome out around there.
Dude, he means it. See?
Yeah.
He's
a great guy.
Hardly seeing similar things where he's like, come on back and just hang around, watch practice if you want to, because practices are closed nowadays. He wants us to come back, dude, and just watch. I think that's awesome. I mean, when's the last – I don't know if the ULM head coach has had that attitude,
Yeah, and to see, like, people actually in like Power 5 coming to steal players from ULM and pay them lots of money to come with this transfer portal stuff. He's doing something right around there. I was looking at some of the football players around there. They look like they're in the SEC. Like, so he's getting the right. He's getting the right guys in there for sure. And I feel like they're going to have a hell of a season this year.
Well, did you have a chance to visit with Coach Wells?
Oh yeah, me and Coach Wells chopped it up for a minute, just catching up on old times. And it's like, Cody has always been that leader on the football team. So to see him step in the college coaching role, man, it's amazing, man. Hats off to that guy. He actually took time, which no other schools really got to do. He took my players on a whole tour through the stadium and stuff before the camp.
Dang.
He was like, yeah, I'm going to show y'all boys. Since Coach Cease bought y'all up, I'm going to show y'all boys a little behind the scenes look. We were all in the coach's office and stuff.
That's not coaching duty, Caesar. He still thinks he's on that, what was that, ESPNU behind the scenes where he gave the tour for the show. he just wants to relive that moment over and over and over again.
Hey, man, my guys, they enjoyed it, man. It's like they love that school. Like, it was so crazy. We did the camp going to ULL. Someone was like, man, I don't want to go to ULL. I'm trying to go to ULM. Come on. Y'all right here by ULL. So that's saying a lot about their program up there now.
That's instituting the right values in them, Coach. That's it.
Even Coach Vincent came out and spent some time with him and just told him like basically what he's looking for. And my guys been working hard as hell since they came back from those camps.
Come on, love that.
Rashon, can't thank you enough for stopping by, talking with us about the good old glory days, giving us a little bit of false hope that maybe Chase was good. We'll go back and review the tape again and see how, be like, maybe we could have graded him a little higher.
I think Chase is a little better than what he's saying, though. Chase is one of those guys, he doesn't like to brag about himself. He's always going to make himself seem like shit.
I appreciate it, Steve. I had my moments. I was all right. I was young and full of injuries. That was my problem.
Yeah, that's how it happens, bro. That's why you got to take care of your body. I really learned the importance of taking care of your body and stretching and really hitting the weight room after I started getting injured.
Same. Well, Ceaser, I want to say thanks for your time tonight, brother. I really appreciate you. It was nice to hear from you. Just know I'm keeping up with you. My wife and I say hello and hope you and your wife are doing well, and I'll see you in Monroe soon, my friend.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all stay blessed.
Thank you.
All right.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. Tender, juicy, and its own sauce. Would you look at that? Well, you can't see it, but trust me, it looks delicious. New McCrispy strips, now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
When's the last time you changed your air filter? Filtrete brand is here to remind you that it's important to change it regularly to help keep your HVAC system running smoothly and efficiently. Multiple factors can impact the life of your AC air filter, like pets, cooking, and poor outdoor air quality. Filtrete MPR 1900 air filters can help capture these unwanted microparticles, including bacteria and viruses circulating in your home's air. Change your filter today with Filtrete brand.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.